Hello, a warm welcome to Conny Decorates today, and of course with heart and a lot of love involved. Micha, the cameraman. Exactly, in wind and storm, but it is super dry and really great autumn weather. And that is what we want to do with and for you today. A completely natural autumn wreath with grasses, all from our garden. And dear ones, we also added a little lantern in there. And if you want to know how this completely natural decoration works, stay tuned, because we will show you now. And these are the things we need today. And here we have the base, a straw wreath frame. But you can use anything you have, of course. Any natural wreath or even a clothes hanger, just wrap a bit of moss around it and you'll have a great base. Then we continue. I had 2 different types of gypsophila, and this one has been in our shed for quite a long time. It was also just white, and I sprayed it here with a kind of lacquer. I would have liked pink, but I didn't have it, so I think rose works quite well now. Then I got some gypsophila from the florist, which is now, I would say, yes, it's also a kind of rose color, but what's really beautiful is that it's still green at the top and not completely like what I have here. Then I just cut off the fruiting bodies of our rose at the front, a bit carefully, as there are still thorns everywhere here. I just cut the reed and a bit of grass at the back of the garden pond. I still have these small fruit clusters from the rose. I have a candle from last year. I think the color matches quite well. A glass found a bit of wire, and I would say let's get started. I would like to have green as the base, and we often use moss, which not everyone has. And that's why I thought, since we are cutting down the reed by the garden pond, anyway, I'll just use that as a base, and it dries really well too. The darker it is, meaning the more shadow there is, or if it stays indoors, the longer it naturally remains green. Otherwise it will naturally fade in the sun. Then I take the binding wire, go around the straw base once to secure it, and then I start. I will now take my reed or the grass that you have and wrap it around the Roman vase here. Then I will use the wire loosely to secure it. Just take a look. If you have short grass, lay it out naturally and then work your way up. But it's really great that I can just twist it around like this and it holds on its own. Then I take the next bunch here, shape it a bit. Let's place it inside now. Take my wire and secure it as well. It can be a bit sparse. The grass can peek out as well. The arrangement is a bit opposite now. Take a Knight of the Dress of Golly Do Crazy, Tracy, Gleason, Clap, all the colors, go a little crazy. Just dancing, it's crazy. Let me walk in and go to 2001. I couldn't manage with that, so I cut a few more grasses. I'm now pulling out the brown a bit here, but I also think it's nice when that's included. We want pure nature. What I'm doing now is I've laid it out once, just twisted it around a bit. And to achieve even more fullness and naturalness, I will now lay the grass in the opposite direction. So I practically position it like this now. If I have turned it beforehand, I place it like this and then turn it in the opposite direction again. Now I take the grass and secure it. You don't need any pressure in it. You've been struggling for too long. Now it's time to move on. We simply wrap the base around quite carelessly, and it is super windy. I hope that doesn't bother you. But it is still so beautiful, and without rain, we are of course still trying to stay outside. So we have a green base, and now I will start taking my baby's breath. A little of what I have painted. I will just say what I have sprayed. I cut it a bit like this. Measure, sols, eos, and the other one too. Then we have a bit of variety. Now I make very small bouquets, and we still have wire attached, and I place them here next to the wreath. Just take a look at how much you have. It doesn't have to be a lot. And now I gently wrap this around loosely, all the way down. Make sure you can also lay it a bit inward. You can, of course, pull it a little, and I think that's wonderful now because we also have the greenery underneath. 2001 and another little bouquet. Just take a moment to go a little more inward. Perhaps a small idea on the side, if you don't have that much. Or Or with baby's breath, you don't have to incorporate so much, or you can just make it half. I think that's really cool too. Right now, when you already have a base, you can really just tie it halfway and simply place the berries on top or completely. Or here you can go around with the jute ribbon again. This means that here it has a very rustic feel, while here it is a bit more playful and dreamy. Well, you can really do everything now as you like. It's just an idea on the side. However, I want it as a table wreath, and I want it to go all the way around. This should also dry nicely for us, and that's why I take the rest and incorporate it as well, wrapped around once. I will just leave the binding wire for now before I cut it. And now I will take a little bit from the fruit clusters here. Take the patent holders, and now you can simply pin them in here wonderfully. One could also naturally incorporate it with binding wire. But baby's breath is a bit more delicate, and it would end up being pushed further down. And that's why I'm just looking to casually attach my fruit arrangements, my rose hips, with the patent holders here. I am now just going down a bit under the baby's breath with the little stem and securing it. And speak the truth as you see it. Listen to yourself and hear it. You will begin. Where is he now? You must know that you are beautiful. You are perfect, just the way you are. I've used up all the staples. I don't have any left. However, I found a bit of wire here that is a little sturdier. You could also take some binding wire and bend it into a U shape, which would definitely help. I have some rose hips from our front yard, and I would really like to carefully attach them here as they still have the thorns everywhere. And then I'm going to make a few more clips and add them in here again. Everything is fully stocked, and we are really happy with it. I also have a few decorative apples now, which would fit in wonderfully as well. But I just want to leave it completely as it is now, what I have done. I removed the binding wire from the back and just twisted it a bit more back here, sewing it together to ensure that everything I have here holds nicely. I have the glass. You can use any glass you have, and just a bit of grass cut from around the pond here. And I would just like to mention this again here. Just take a look. If you have an LED string of lights, you can wonderfully place it in here and then turn it on. I still have this real one here. And when you turn them on naturally, you have to be careful if you have decoration materials here, which I still have. Micha was so kind and just cut me a few rose hips, the leftovers, and I would like to just throw them in here on the side. Then this repeats itself in the glass again. And when the LED candle is lit later, which really shines completely from top to bottom, it will look fantastic. Take a look in the kitchen to see what you have, for example. These small chilies, which are also great. They dry super well and make wonderful decorative items to incorporate. But since we really have enough fruit clusters and it is filled out perfectly, that is absolutely sufficient for us. I will probably check here to see if I can place a battery compartment in between and add a nice string of lights here so that we always have it beautifully illuminated. And I think our lantern is finished and we did it. It brought us a lot of joy again. We could chat a bit. We're here in the garden with all the furry friends around us. And of course, we really hope that we could inspire you today, because then we would be super, super happy about the thumbs up, dear ones. It is really very windy right now. And as mentioned, feel free to follow us on Pinterest, Facebook or Instagram. If you are looking for clamps or beautiful autumnal or even early Christmas decorations, check the video description. As mentioned, you will find the link there, and that will take you to Hofelka's, dear ones. So we'll see each other in a few days. Sending you hugs. Stay very healthy. Yours, Conny, and Micha, your cameraman. Exactly. Until then, bye. Bye, chicken, drum 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 chicken. Crazy. Releasing control. Let your body go a little crazy. Crazy. Just crazy. Crazy. 3, 2, 1, 0, 0.